Hi, I'm Kreatya Shannon, welcoming you to another installment of Unleash Your Creativity. Today it's been a really long day, so I'm just looking at winding down for the night, making sure my body's straight, giving my shoulders some rolls to relax them up. Putting my hands down, putting my hands down in my lap as I sit in my chair. Just starting to box breathe. If you don't feel comfortable breathing along with me, just sit back, think of some relaxing imagery, and give yourself a few moments rest. Because we all need a little rest sometimes. Just always make sure your feet are planted solidly on the ground. Feel the earth below you, underneath your feet. And if for whatever reason you're not able to touch the ground itself, feel grounded mentally in your mind. We always have that choice. What does it mean for you to feel grounded? Let yourself feel that right now. Now bring yourself back to where we are. Open your eyes if you chose to close them. I'm going to go forward in looking at Deborah Adele's The Yamas and the Niyamas. Next up is the concept of non-excess. that is the idea, according to Deborah Adele. Many interpret this as being such as celibacy or abstinence, but from her point of view, she thinks it's something broader and that it implies dealing with the passion of all of our other desires, all types, in a manner sacred and life giving rather than living excessively. One part that she bolds in particular that sticks with me is that brahmacharya, or charya, sorry, the idea of non-excess, reminds us to enter each day and each action with a sense of holiness rather than indulgence. That resonates with me. I've been through a lot in my life lately that has reminded me I should take nothing for granted, be happy for what I have, and not take too much of something just because it is there to be taken. Sharing is important. So, if a lot of people tend to overindulge, how do we tame that? This is the next thing that Deborah Adele goes into in the book. She talks about how people overdo so many things: physical attraction, food, work, sleep, entertainment. How the idea of the concept of enough seems to be out of reach. It's worth noting that in yogic thought, there is a moment in time, again quoting the book, when we reach the perfect limit of what we are engaged in. But this seems something that you can apply anywhere in life. That need to recognize when we have just enough food, just enough resources. Instead of always looking at what don't we have. And I know that overlaps with something that we've discussed previously. But I think in this case we're talking about feeling we must always have it to excess. Especially when emotional attachments and needs, body needs, kind of tie up in each other. She talks about the need to be able to discern between what the body needs in the moment and the story our mind tells us what we need. A lot of this particular chapter is her personal stories, and I think they're worth a read if you really are looking for more from her perspective. And a lot of the rest of this particular chapter for her talks about walking with God. And I know that God can look different to various people. But I think the greatest point out of all this is that when we come from a place of gratitude, and a place of wonder. These are words that she's using, but definitely gratitude. That's one of my big personal biggies. If if we are satisfied and grateful for everything we have, it makes it harder, at least for me, to look for what it is that we don't have. And maybe even, and I can say this from experience, maybe even we start looking for it less and start doing things more like taking a few moments out of our evening just to rest, relax, recharge, and be grateful that we can. So thank you for spending these few moments with me, because I am certainly grateful that you did. Until next time.